Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Hera English School online teaching. Today inshallah in English subject standard 10th we are going to see 2.5 lesson of our textbook. The name of the lesson is Let's March. Now Kailash Satyarthi, he was born in 1954. He is still living. Now, he is an Indian children's right and education advocate and an activist against child labor. He founded the Bachpan Bachao Andolan in 1980 and has acted to protect the rights of more than 83,000 children across 144 countries. So many efforts he has put for the welfare of the children. Okay? He is honored with many awards including the Nobel Peace Prize of 2014. Now, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize of 2014. He had addressed this speech on the eve of Nobel Prize distribution ceremony. On the event where he was being awarded the Nobel Prize, there is a speech which he had given, and that speech is this lesson. It has been divided into 3 parts. Today inshallah we are going to see the first part. Let us see it paragraph wise. Now part 1. My dear children of the world, Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, distinguished members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, dear brother Tom Harkin, brothers and sisters, and my dear daughter Malaila. Now, we can understand he is addressing from the stage. See, first of all, he addresses the children of the world. Why? Because he thinks that the children are the most important citizens on this earth. As they are small, they are the future of the world. So he says, my dear children of the world, Your Majesties. That means maybe some royal people are sitting there, so he is addressing them as Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies. Many distinguished guests must be there. Dear members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, that means the event was held in Norway, so the Norway's Nobel Committee, who is deciding for the Nobel Prize, is present there. So he is telling, dear brother Tom Harkin, brothers and sisters, my dear daughter Malaila. That means Malaila from Pakistan, she is also there. So all these great personalities, at the start of the speech he is giving them a respect or kind of a salutation. Now, from this podium of peace, podium means the place where they stand, like wooden box like structure where they stand and address the speech. Now what he is telling, from this podium of peace and humanity, that means this is the stage where the Nobel Prize is given for peace and humanity. That means this is the area where I am standing, is the stage for the peace and humanity. I am deeply honored to recite a mantra from the ancient text of wisdom, Vedas. That means now he is going to recite the words of wisdom regarding the knowledge from the old Vedas books from India. These mantra carries a prayer and aspiration. What do you mean by aspiration? See the word aspiration, an ardent wish or desire. Okay? And resolve that has the potential to liberate humanity from all man-made crisis. See, what are man-made crises? The situations which are going out of our control because of the humans have created such problems. For example, we are having the problem of pollution. So that pollution is created by humans, right? It is not a natural thing. People have dumped the plastics everywhere, and many of the gases are liberated from the vehicles. These all are man-made crises. Okay. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. Let's walk together in the pursuit of global progress. That means in the area or for the reason of global progress. Not a single person should be left out or left behind in any corner of the world. That means he is telling we should all move together for the purpose of welfare of the human being, from east to west, from south to north. That means he is talking about the international secularism, becoming one as a human. Let's speak together. Let our minds come together. What he is telling, our mind should be coming together so that we all fight together, learning from the experience of our ancestors. Let us together create knowledge for all that benefits all. That means the knowledge which is benefiting to all people in the world, it should be considered, and we should all be together. I bow to my late parents. That means he is giving respect to his parents. To my motherland, which is his motherland, India, and to the mother earth. Okay. With a warm heart, I recall how thousands of times I have been liberated. Each time I have freed a child from slavery. Now, whenever he had helped a person, a child, from freeing from the labor work, or the child who was doing the labor work, he has helped that child to get free, then he became in peace. He was satisfied. Okay. In the first smile of freedom of their beautiful faces, I see the God's smile. You must have seen the small children, if they are very innocent. When they smile, a beautiful shine comes on their face, and that makes us happy. Now what he is telling, when the smile came on the child's face, when he was being freed from the labor work or slavery, then the child, he saw it, the child as a God was smiling at him. I give the biggest credit of this honor to my movements. Now he is giving these whatever work he has done, which has cost him the honor, which has given him the honor. He is giving that it is because of these persons. Who were these persons? Here mentioned are Kalu Kumar, Dhoom Das, Adarsh Kishore from India, and Iqbal Masih from Pakistan, who made the supreme sacrifice for protecting the freedom and dignity of children. Now he is telling that these people were with me who had done lot of sacrifice, put lot of efforts, so that we can identify such people where they are and help them out. Okay. See the photos of Kalu Kumar, Dhoom Das, Adarsh Kishore and Iqbal Masih. Okay. Let us move on to next paragraph. Now freedom and dignity of children, it was a continuation of that page number 78. Now let us move on to page number 79. I humbly accept this award on behalf of all such martyrs, my fellow activists. That means these people, they have died now. Okay. What he is telling? Now here one word I have missed here. Dignity means self-respect. Okay? I humbly accept this award on behalf of all such Martyrs, my fellow activists across the world and my countrymen. So the three people who are there, they are from his country, and Iqbal Masih is from Pakistan. So such people, their all great work has helped him to come till here, and he has achieved Nobel Prize because of their help with him, and activities of all these peoples and efforts have benefited him greatly. My journey from the great land of Lord Buddha. What do you mean by great land of Lord Buddha, Guru Nanak and Mahatma Gandhi? That is India. Definitely the land where these all great people were born. So my journey from the great land of Lord Buddha, Guru Nanak and Mahatma Gandhi, India to Norway is a connect between the two centers of global peace and brotherhood, ancient and modern. Now ancient country is India, and the Norway is modern country. Okay, there is a connection between these two, as he is telling. Friends, the Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Now they have told that you should speak something, you should have a speech here. Respectfully, I am unable to do that. He is telling that I am not able to do that kind of lecture because I am representing here the sound of silence. Now here a deep meaning is there. What do you mean by sound of silence? It's a phrase that means the unheard plead of the deprived. That means many of the the small children who are suffering, they are being tortured, they are being beaten up, they are being pressurized to do hard work. These all children's sound he is telling as the sound of silence. Okay? The cry of innocence. Innocence means innocence here representing the small children. Their childhood is lost because of they have to do difficult works. Okay? And the face of invisibility. What do you mean by face of invisibility? See the phrase, meaning is there, unnoticed suffering of the poor and innocent. Okay? I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair here as a reminder. There is an empty chair on the stage, and that is reminding him of the innocent, unnoticed small children who are suffering, who are not being given justice. Okay? Now we'll see the next. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children. What he is telling, I have came here as a representative of these children who are suffering from many difficulties in their life because they are all our children. Gestures to everyone in the audience. Why is he gesturing? That means he is giving an action that all these children are the children of the world, they are of human being. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. He is telling that these children, they are frightened and their eyes are exhausted. That means they don't have any dream in their eye. They are just afraid of the people. They are getting frustrated because of the terrorism, because of many of the problems in the society. They are being terrified. They are being frightened. I have held their injured bodies and felt their broken spirits. That means they now don't have any hope that they will be happy after some time, or they will have some happiness in their life. So, and he is telling that in the form of injured bodies of their, some kind of accidents happen, or sometime they are being killed, or sometime they are being injured. Like we see many of the children of Philistine, they are being hurt. So all these he is remembering the sufferings of the children. 20 years ago, in the foothills of Himalayas, now he is describing one of the incident. 20 years ago, in the foothills of Himalayas means nearby the Himalaya mountains, I met a small skinny child laborer. There was a child laborer. Small skinny means very thin. His skin was touching to his bones. Okay. He asked me, is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy? What that innocent child told Kailash Satyarthi was asked by that child, that is the world so poor that I cannot get a single toy here to play and a book? Instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool, instead of that they are giving a tool in my hand to work for others, or they are giving gun so that I can become a terrorist. So this kind of situation has happened with the children of the all over the world, that has made a difficult times for small innocent children. I met with a Sudanese child soldier in Sudan, in the region of Africa. He met one child soldier. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. That means from a terrorist he was being kidnapped. As his first training lesson, now they wanted him to become a terrorist. So, as his first training lesson, he was forced to kill his friends and family. They gave the gun in his hand and they said him to kill his family members and also his friend. Just imagine this kind of unhuman behavior. He asked to Kailash Satyarthi, what is my fault when people have made me to do all the wrong things? I have been forced to do wrong things for others. See the situation of the small children all over the world. Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for our children. Further, he says that all over the world, all the religions, the Quran, the Bible, the Gita, and many of the religious books are telling about taking care of our children. What Jesus says, let the children come to me, do not hinder them, from the kingdom of God belongs to them. What Jesus said, that do not make any disturbance, let the children come towards God, because the kingdom of God is of the children. The Holy Quran says, kill not your children because of poverty. Even if you are poor, don't kill your children. Take care of them. Maybe because of them, we will get more of the wealth. Further, he moves on to tell, friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. See this statement. Friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Deny means not to accept. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and mosques and churches and prayers houses have no place for the dreams of our children. That means these holy places, they can help us to bring children with a more progress, having smile on the face of the children. Okay. Further, he move on to tell, I refuse to accept that the world is so poor. When just 1 week of global military expenditure can bring, that means so much money is wasted on military expenses, or many of the projects, but we cannot give a small toy to a child to make him happy, to bring a smile on the face of the child, to bring his innocence, to enjoy him in his life. So these kind of things are there. So we need to understand the children are the future and we need to protect them. We need to help them out today. If they are psychologically strong, they are having self-confidence, definitely the world tomorrow will become a better place for the human beings. Okay? All the children to classrooms. Now, here he is telling that you should bring all the children to the classroom. Why? Because when they will go to schools, when they will go to the education institutes, they will definitely learn many more and good, better things that will help them out in their life. I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. How can it be when the administration has given us, the constitution has given us many of the laws, the police is there to protect the people, the judges are there to give justice, then also our children are not being protected. Okay? I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery. What do you mean by shackles? That is the chain of bent things, that is, it's connected to one another, that is shackles. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest for freedom. That means a thirst is there in human being to become free, so that is more stronger than the slavery. I refuse to accept here. Now here, refuse to accept is given in the bold letter. That means he want to highlight that words. Okay? My only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child. Okay? Free to grow and develop, free to eat and sleep and see the daylight, free to laugh and cry, free to play and learn, free to go to school, and above all, free to dream. That means he should have the right to do whatever his freedom give him. He should have a confidence in himself. He should do whatever he likes according to these statements. I have the privilege of working with many courageous people who have the same aim. Many people he came across who have the same aim, same desire that we should help out the children to be free. We have never given up against any threat or attack. We never will. Okay, what he is telling? We are not going to give up this mission of ours. Maybe people will threat us. They will make us frightened that you're doing this, all stop doing this. But we won't be able to stop. We will always move ahead to help the humanity, to help the child labor get free from slavery. We have made progress in the last couple of decades. We have reduced the number of out of school children by half. Now, out of school children means those children who were not able to get education. He has made them, helped them out so that they are in the mainstream getting the education. We have reduced the number of child laborer by a third. We have reduced child mortality and malnutrition. Mortality means death rate, and malnutrition means the children are not getting food properly. Okay, they are not having proper food because of the poverty. And we have prevented millions of child death. That means the children were dying because of not having proper medicine, proper care taken, that they have prevented many a times. Many new medicines have came, many new inventions have came which are helping out the children to cope up with the fight with the diseases. But let us make no mistake, great challenges still remain. We should not make any mistakes now. We should take care of the children because they are our future citizens. Friends, the biggest challenge or biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. The biggest problem here is knocking on the door. Knocking on the door means just entered into the world. What is that? Humankind is fear. That means people are being frightened because of the terrorism. Because at the gunpoint they are forced to do the wrong things. Okay? And intolerance. People are not being tolerated if they are having different ideas than yours or they are going against your wishes. Everybody has his own rights, right? In secularism we have learned, in democracy we have learned to live with different kind of peoples, to tolerate different kind of religions. But now the situation is going very different. All over the world people are just fighting for religion, fighting for having a different kind of attitude which they have, and they want others to follow them. They are not ready to accept the ideas of others. Okay? We have utterly failed our children in imparting an education. That means we are educating them, but we have failed somewhere. That's why we are becoming weaker in this kind of things. Nowadays, the citizens who are there now, they are not, many of them are not tolerating the other's religion. That means we have failed somewhere in teaching them the manners to tolerate others' religion. An education that gives the meaning and objective of life. See, very important sentence he is telling here. Education should give a human being an objectives and meaning to our life. An education that gives a sense of global citizenship among the youth. That means the youth of today should understand that we as a human being all over the world are same. Equality, fraternity, brotherhood, these kind of values should be added to our life. And we should not fight on the basis of religion. I am afraid that the day is not very far away when the cumulative results of these failure will culminate into an unpredicted violence, and that will be suicidal for humankind. See, very effective sentence he is telling. He is telling that I am afraid the day is not very far. That means the day is near where all these wrong things together, that is intolerance of people, fighting on the basis of religion, fighting on the basis of caste, creed, all these problems are going to create a big problem for the human being, and that will become a dangerous thing, and people will start killing each other on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, creed, on the basis of rich and poor. These all is going to make a situation worst for the human beings. Instead of progressing, they will go back towards destruction. Let us move on to the next. Rights, security, hope can only be restored through education. That means everybody should have an equal rights. Every child or every human being in this world should be feeling safe from inside. There should not be fear to him, and he should hope that he will progress. If he is doing hard work, he will get the result of it. So hope can only be restored through the education. Okay? Young people like Malala. Now this Malala is a girl from Pakistan. There was a lot of different situation She was not being allowed to go for the education, but she fought for her education. She was being a terrorist had attacked on her with the gun, but after the operation she was been suffering from having a bullet in her brain, and then it was been operated and she came back to be normal, and then she fought with the terrorism. So this is what is the important. He is telling that young people like Malaila, I have started calling her my daughter Malaila, not just Malaila. Now he is telling, Kailash Satyarthi is telling to Malaila as not just a name, but he is referring her to be his daughter. So my daughter Malaila and other daughters, including the Kainat, in fact 2 Kainats and Shazia, the daughters from Africa and from all over the world, they are rising up and choosing peace over violence. They wanted to go for education. They don't want to stay at home. The terrorism had stopped them from going to the schools. But they came out, they raised their voice, they fight. They are not afraid of the violence. And they don't want the violence all over the world. Now they are choosing peace over the violence, tolerance over extremism, and the courage over the fear. That means they have came up bravely and they fought for their rights, and now they are famous and they are symbol of peace. The solutions are emerging. That is, they are coming up. But these solutions cannot be found in the deliberation in conference alone. Only giving speech at the conference is not going to solve out the problems, and cannot be found in prescriptions from a distance. That means the people giving them solution in the writing from one place to another cannot be a solution. Every area, every constitution has its own difficulties, problems. On the spot, the solution should be found out for the local problems, and people everywhere should be aware as a responsible citizen to sort out the problem of the people there. Okay? They lie in small groups and local organizations and individuals. Like he is telling, the examples of NGOs are there, many of the social workers are there. At a local level, they should understand the problem in that area and sort out accordingly. Who are confronting with the problem every day they are confronting. That means they are facing, they are being attacked because they are doing some good work. Those evil people, they don't like them because the solution to the problems are coming out, and that is causing a hindrance, disturbance to them, because they don't want peace all over the world. They want just fights and controlling people on the gunpoint. Even if they remain unacknowledged, unorganized and unknown to the world, the solutions are with them. Even they are not becoming famous, they don't want to become leaders, but they want to help out others, so that the basic problem of child labor, basic problem of pollution and many more are coming as a solution for the world. Okay, inshallah we'll continue next time. Jazakallah.